really a spoiler. I'm just saying that it's the end. Like, it's the final war. It's not a battle. It's called the War of the Ember. So it's like it ends there. So that's when the series ends.
So with that in mind, with these 15 books, and with what you've heard from other people who have seen it, would you say that, if given the performance and of the movie, do you think they would actually go out and make another movie of like the next 3 books or something like that?
Well, they should. I mean, there's 15 books.
Yeah, but do you think that that is possible or likely, depending based on what you've heard from other people about the movie? Because the general rule is, as long as the original movie does well, then there's likely more story to be told and make another sequel. Do you think this movie has been doing well enough to warrant a sequel?
Well, most of my friends aren't really into those things, like talking owls and animated things. They're more into the horror, which I don't really like. But if you are a fan of this type of movie or the books, you would like it. And the way the movie ends, it makes it seem like there's a sequel.
Okay.
That'd be nice. Alright, from what I can tell, I'm looking up the box office on Box Office Mojo, and it's telling me that the movie has made a grand total of $67 million worldwide. And it's only been out for a few weeks, so, I mean, I guess but they could make a sequel, but I hate to say it, but I'm not sure, I'm not entirely sure if they will. I wouldn't bet money on it.
It almost sounds like the amount of gross isn't really enough to really warrant a sequel unless the fans really call out for it.
Yeah, because compared to its production budget of $80 million, it hasn't made any money.
With everything, it always starts off like that.
Yeah.
Because you lose money at first, and then slowly it comes back.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I'd like to see the sequel to this. It might, because, if they have material, if one movie consists of 3 books and there are 15 books, then they have enough material to make 4 more movies.
Alrighty, well, thank you very much for joining us, Tovah. We really enjoyed having you.
That's okay, it was my pleasure.
And for releases, what is about to be released, Rusty?
Well, like we said last episode, How to Train Your Dragon is coming out this Friday on DVD.
Woo!
And that's exciting. I kid you not, that's exciting. I'll get it like day one. Without any money, but I'll get it.
I'll be renting that.
Which you should, because everyone should see it and everyone should love it.
I still haven't seen it.
Well, Friday's your target date.
Certainly plan to. And interesting fact, DreamWorks is pushing for How to Train Your Dragon for the Best Picture Oscar award as well.
Is it really?
Huh.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Toy Story 3 is already basically locked in for a nomination. Whether it will win or not is a different question. But it and probably 2 or 3 other films are so far currently. It's impossible for them not to get nominated. And if How to Train Your Dragon gets nominated as well, it'll be the first year that 2 animated films have gotten the Academy Award nomination for Best Picture.
Oh, really?
So, also upcoming, Beauty and the Beast has been released on Blu-ray in its Diamond Edition form.
Yes.
And from what I can hear, Anayu saw it.
Yes.
Tell us about it, please.
It was Beauty and the Beast on Blu-ray. No, seriously. It looked pretty good from what I could tell. I hadn't seen the older animation in a long time, but it looked brighter, I guess, probably more colorful. It was my first Blu-ray experience, so I kind of popped my Blu-ray experience bubble and everything. It was kind of weird, though, because I noticed that around the borders of, characters and objects, there were little white streaks. I don't know. It was around the outlines, the black outlines, or the darker outlines, there was just random white in different areas, and that bothered me a little bit. Because it didn't look as clean. But other than that, I liked it.
Okay.
Nothing really bad about that.
So if you have a Blu-ray player, this is definitely a recommendation. And if you don't, the regular DVD comes out in mid-November, so you can get it then.
Yep.
And in other events, MGM, which has started the company for MGM Animation, which, as you might know, is the company responsible for All Dogs Go to Heaven 2 and the Christmas movie.
Didn't they also do the first one?
No, technically that was Don Bluth and United Artists. But United Artists is owned by MGM now. But MGM Animation is to All Dogs Go to Heaven as Universal Animation is to Balto.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So MGM has filed for bankruptcy.
Sad sauce.
It is about $100 million in debt.
Oh.
And
That's almost as bad as the entire United States.
Well,
but anyway, they also recently did the Fantastic Mr. Fox. MGM Animation did. But yeah, it's in so much debt that they plan to file for bankruptcy. From what I read, what the plan is, another movie company, Spyglass Entertainment, is going to merge together two of its little subsidiary companies together to form a new MGM Studios, and hopefully with that, a new MGM Animation Studio. So yeah, in essence, this is a pretty big blow for animated movies, and considering one of the last things MGM did before this happened was, the Fantastic Mr. Fox, which, a good movie though it was, I guess, does that mean it didn't do very well in the box office, or they lose a lot of money on that?
It sounds to me, with being in debt so much, there has to be some sort of existing problem even before Fantastic Mr. Fox, though, of course, I don't know how to really read off of that sort of thing, but still. In my personal opinion, that's what.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of business stuff. I know you guys aren't. I know a lot of you guys aren't terribly good with business lingo. I'm not very good with business lingo either, but it's.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, I thought it was relevant because it was a company behind the All Dogs Go to Heaven sequels.
And to let you guys know a few of Spyglass's films, they released The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy in 2005 and Underdog in 2007, just to name a few of what looks like probably dozens of films. They also released Star Trek. They're a major film company that's only been recently made. It looks like they are currently using the Walt Disney Pictures logo for their distribution. So if they're an independent company, they're just using Disney to distribute their films to theaters and such.
Interesting.
So I guess we can safely say that MGM is in good hands. Do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I smell Monopoly. That's just me, though.
Yeah, but you're hyper.
I am hyper.
For some information I found, it's apparently Fantastic Mr. Fox only made made up half of its budget in domestic box office. It cost $40 million and it got about $20 million.
That's the same story as Princess and the Frog. It cost $200 million to make it, only grossed $100 million in the U.S. So it's about the same story.
Yeah, well.
But MGM is in good hands.
Yeah, so far.
So in other news, another upcoming movie is Tangled. And,
It's the Disney film, the CG film that looks like Rapunzel.
It is Rapunzel.
I got Victoria.
It's Rapunzel on Code Red. She uses her hair to beat up the prince. This automatically makes me want to watch this movie.
Oh, bad.
They just can't get my nose right. Aha! Ryder! Enjoy prison! I'll miss the sound of your laughter. Alone at last.
Basically, Tangled used to have the name Rapunzel. It had the name Rapunzel up through March this year, but then Disney figured they didn't make enough money from The Princess and the Frog, as stated earlier, and they figured it was because of the girl-sounding title. So they changed the title from Rapunzel to Tangled. So that's the origin of the title, but the story itself looks absolutely amazing.
It does.
10 major critics from Wall Street Journal and Chicago Tribune and newspapers like that were invited to a private showing of the film by the Disney company. All 10 of them came out with positive reviews, and I'll let you know that has not happened since The Lion King. That all 10 of those newspapers have given a film positive reviews.
Wow.
So,
Impressive.
it looks very promising. And there's a newer trailer that was only released 2 weeks ago that reveals a little more of the plot. The main characters are, of course, Rapunzel and her prince, as it were. His name is Flynn Rider. Flynn coming from the 1940s actor Errol Flynn, who happened to play Robin Hood at one point. It's just because we're talking about Robin Hood so earlier. And Rider came from the original first name of the character, Rider. I forgot what his last name was, but anyway. So he's a big outlaw, and he breaks out of jail and then steals from his fellows, who he knows will get back in jail soon. Then he runs and he flees to a huge tower and meets Rapunzel. Of course, she's annoyed that he's broken into her private place and all, but she just wants to be free from her castle because her parents have locked her up in there, as the trailer puts it, like forever.
Yeah, I remember that line.
She wants for him to rescue her, and he doesn't want to. But she uses the power of her hair to persuade him otherwise, and he breaks her free. Turns out her hair is under a magical spell, and I'm not entirely sure what it is, but it's some sort of curse. And I will not try to give away any spoilers, as I do not own any myself. But let's just say it's a typical Disney princess film. They all live happily ever after. Good defeats evil. Blah 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 blah. And that's about all I can tell you, because that's about all I know, and I am out of breath. So
I'm going to
Alright.
guess that her
Awkward
hair
silence.
is indestructible. That's what I'm going to guess.
Dude, she could use it like Superman's cape and be all like, pew, 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 deflecting bullets and running around and saving the
It could be
day.
like this video game I remember where that had you were like a lab animal and you were chained to some indestructible radioactive rabbit and you used this thing as a weapon. Hilarious.
They need to make a video game with this version of Rapunzel, and she would just beat everything automatically.
That would be awesome.
So yeah, this movie is definitely one that you should look forward to. It's true Disney. It's CG, not 2D, but even so, it looks like a tremendous film, and I'm looking forward to seeing it personally.
Yep. Also, another random thing that's upcoming, not strictly animation, but Shrek is being made into a Broadway musical. I guess
Yeah.
we should have seen it coming.
Yeah, I was actually surprised when I saw an ad for it when I was back in St. Louis. Shrek the Musical, now playing at the Fabulous Fox Theater. I was like, wow, wait, really? But actually, I do remember my friend who is really, really into Broadway. He knows all the musicals going on Broadway. But it had been so long, I guess it had a long run on strictly Broadway, but now it's touring. I had totally forgotten about it until it started touring, so yeah.
It's one of those things.
Yeah.
And now Swords has something he wants to correct from earlier.
Yeah, sorry, I said that Fantastic Mr. Fox was done by MGM Animation. I apologize. I totally slipped up. Somehow my looking up information on Wikipedia was kind of, suspect. I mistakenly thought it was done by MGM, but it was actually done by 20th Century Fox Animation, which, if you think about it, is kind of fitting for Fantastic Mr. Fox.
So that means they
Yeah,
have
sorry.
no part in the downfall of MGM.
No, it doesn't. But on a minor note, Fox Animation Studios only releases what it calls outsourced films, because Fantastic Mr. Fox was mostly done by a company called Regency Enterprises, and it hasn't made its own movie since Titan AE back in 2000. Anyway, it has nothing to do with the fact that MGM is $100 million in debt, so sorry.
Moving on to extra talk. Something I just found recently that I'm putting here, and I apologize that I didn't announce it earlier. I've been looking for it, and I only just now found it again. The user Eclipse on Animation Source sent us some lovely music